Hi everyone. I just heard something just now and it kind of got my blood boiling a little bit. It was to do with God and to do with yoga. And I just came across because I am wanting to connect with God more in my life, and I'm wanting to connect with people that connect with God more. And so with that, I was going to do some yoga this morning, and I thought, oh, rather than my beautiful go-tos, I just want to Google and see if there's Christian yoga, God, yoga with God is what I put in. And then they come up like all of this stuff of why these people have been told not to do yoga and not to, God sees it as demonic. If you do yoga, you're going to hell and things like that. And I just read I just wrote a few paragraphs, but it was all good. Like, I just wrote a few paragraphs of just saying, like, I don't know about you guys, but my God is not that black and white. He is flexible. He is love. If you are loving yourself, loving your body, raising your vibration, that you move better in the world, that you interact with your loved ones, yourself, your inner dialogue, and perfect strangers better in the world, then why wouldn't that be a good thing? I don't get it. I can understand, and even myself, like I have angel cards and tarot cards and things like that. I rarely use them these days. They're all in a cupboard, but I can appreciate the tarot thing not being welcomed, in the sense, because I have known firsthand that I've had readings over time, and then somehow your ego can get in there and can sort of just sort of get in the way, and so can potentially set you off course in some senses. So that I can understand, that I can work with. I was even having a conversation with a good girlfriend the other day who's reborn again Christian, has a beautiful son named Elijah, and things like that. And I appreciate her wording and opinion and things like that, and views and knowing. And so I was sort of talking to her about card readings and things like that the other day, and what she said resonated with me. And she sort of said, you don't really need cards. Like, if you are connecting with God, then you don't need cards. And I can resonate with that too, because I have had many, channeled many things through. And that, to me, like, that's how I said to her, I said, like, the cards, I use the cards more as a tool and for other people. I use the cards, it was just 333. I use the cards for other people more so than anything, just to give permission and give somebody else like that little bit of comfortability of, even though there's sometimes a fear-based thing of what's gonna be said. But I ask for every reading to be blessed before, and not only my readings, I pass across to every single person. If you ever have a reading, you ask for that to be blessed before you even shuffle the cards, say a prayer. And so that the energy that's coming through and the messages that are coming through are pure. And even if it's so-called negative, it's still for the greater good, and for our higher self and our higher learning and our higher knowing, and evolution. So and it's like that classic case, rejection is God's protection. So even if something's like going, oh, he doesn't like me, so it's just 444. So what? There's somebody else for you. And, God's just clearing those things out of the way for you. So even if something seemingly that you want firsthand that, you know, something else is overriding it, and it seems like it's not coming about, there's a reason for that. There was always a greater reason for that, and a bigger picture, and a plan greater than our own. And so anyways, but yeah, so the main reason why I put cards out is basically with the permission to speak, you know, and cards will be there. Half the time I'll scan the cards, I'll reference the cards, but I am talking what I'm getting. Sorry, I'm holding my rose quartz, little neck chain here. Yeah, so that's the main reason why I use cards as a tool, and so they can understand and things like that. Certain people are audio learners and listeners. Some people are visual learners. And so I just find having both there, you know, can just sort of give people a greater understanding of going, yep, you know, and confirmation even, you know, because who am I? Who am I just to be rattling off this stuff about them, pardon me, without any concrete knowledge? Then people's ego can come in over the top and go, you know, who are they anyway? You know, do they even know? And miss the message, you know, write it off. Their ego sort of goes back doing whatever it wanted to do to start with, and focus in the areas that it wanted to, and go back asleep, in a sense. Basically the message is missed. And so that is the reason, the sole reason why I use cards. It's the permission, and it's just for the confirmation sometimes that things come through. And I do more soul readings. I don't do future readings. I don't tell people how many babies they're going to have, if they're going to get married in June, you know, and things like that. No. You know, your way of thinking and the choices that you're making, this is what's around you at the moment. And up until now, this is, you know, part of your story. The rest is still to be written, and you have the pen. So it's guidance. It's not gospel. And yeah, and I'm always mindful with my wording. I always intuitively, empathically deliver the words across in the way that I feel that that person needs to hear it. And not I as in I, but I trust, you know, how I deliver it is the way that that person needs to hear it, whether it's with a little bit of authority because they need to get it, or whether it's with a gentleness because they need tenderness and they need support and compassion. So that's that. But yeah, so the whole yoga thing, and, you know, going to hell if you do yoga, I just can't believe in 2024 that I was even hearing that. Like, this girl was just saying that she'd gone to yoga and then she'd gone to church, and she was having this beautiful, you know, doing a yoga class and going to church and worshiping, and, you know, just being a single woman on her journey and finding herself and things like that, and connecting with different soul groups, and just connecting, you know, connecting with love and connecting with the body, and peace. And so yeah, it just sort of really got me, that when she was saying that she'd gone to yoga before, and a lady at church had sort of said, oh, you know, oh, you can't do that, you'll go to hell. Like, and then she'd spoken to somebody else. She said, she said, I felt like I wanted to talk about it on the quiet, you know, do you know about yoga? You know, and I was just like going, oh my God, literally, you know, because that's what I wrote in one of the comments, are going, no God that I know would banish people to hell for lovingly stretching their body. No God I know. And the God I know, I feel I'm pretty close with. And that's not his nature or intention or desire or need. Why? You know, and again, even hell, we create our own heaven or hell, and purgatory on earth through our perception and capped way of thinking, narrow-mindedness or expansiveness. So it doesn't have to be, so black or white. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. To what I wrote as well, is the gym okay? Because to me, the gym is riddled with ego and fear-based people of going there to prove themselves and get hot for their ex, to stick it in their face, looking in the mirror the whole time, chatting the whole time, checking each other out the whole time. It's like a pickup joint. It's like a nightclub without alcohol and with spandex and elasticity instead. So, again, that is ego. And I've been to yoga classes. I do my yoga mainly by myself on my yoga floor in my lounge room, and connect with beautiful souls that have a pure intention and wanting to share a practice that helps you get out of your mind and back into your body, and helps your nervous system. And I know myself personally, and I have played with this for years, that if I don't move my body, and gentle movement, like it's not always about going and smashing yourself, going for a run, and forcing yourself to do things, because that is productivity and things like that. And that's connected with the doing, that's connected with ego, that's connected with illusion. So connecting, slowing down and connecting with ourselves, and, just being lovingly guided and feeling into, and even sometimes on my yoga mat, they might be doing something, and occasionally I'll just think, oh, I just feel like doing this, and just sort of intuitively feel my body, and again, release. And there is science behind yoga, for those that need that. But it is a spiritual practice. And it doesn't matter whether it's from the East, the West, whatever. It has been channeled down to the earth thousands of years ago, or hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And it is here for the greater good, as is Tai Chi, as is Qigong. Walking, it's all movement, and there is nothing that is blasphemy that produces good, true good. And look at the souls. Just use your own judgment. Look at the beautiful souls that are doing this. You can tell whether a pastor or, a yogi, so-called yogi, is in their ego. If a person is in their ego, then that individual person is not aligned. It has nothing to do with the practice, and everything to do with them and where they're at, and where their soul's journey is at, and where their ego is still running the show. So move away from that person and gravitate to somebody that is more aligned. And that's how it goes. That's all you need to know. It's the same if you went to a church, exactly that. If you went to a church and someone was ranting and raving and things like that, you might think, oh, that's a bit much. That makes me feel a bit much. And it's sort of hitting me. Then when you might hear somebody else's word of God, and, you can feel yourself, just be happy to be alive and happy to take in, and you can hear, your soul will hear truth, and your soul will hear and just be resonating, going, yes, I know that to be true. Whether it be a pastor, a preacher, or a motivational speaker, it doesn't matter. Or just a person on YouTube, it doesn't matter. We all have our own truth and connection to God and to a greater good, and we all have free will and our intuition. So trust yours, and don't listen to, I don't care how strong their debate is, how much, whatever blasphemy that they state, it's an illusion. And do you. Happy healing.